The Young Pistols versus the Royal Family. The Royal Family are formerly the tag team we saw called the New Zealand Militia. They come out and they look like fucking bums that have found
costumes outside Sue Ryder.
I really do. They come out
Jesus.
like women's medieval costumes.
So odd.
And they've put them on and they're going off for a fucking brawl with another couple of bums. They don't come down with any sense of regality whatsoever.
No.
The funny thing I think about it is, obviously, again, this is a very sort of like Dusty Road thing of going, where you from? New Zealand, you know. Royal family. You know.
The most famous royal family in the world. Is it?
Well,
is it, Dusty?
Well, mate, one of them is from New Zealand, Britt Morgan. Well, mate, I suppose, you got a point. We are actually a sovereignty. So, yeah. Well, I don't know what any of that means.
It's not technically ours, though, is it?
I mean, they are the shits. As a tag team, anyway, they are crap. Jack Victory, who is the blonde-haired guy, I had a quick look and I was like, did he do anything in his career that I'd find interesting? There's a great wrestling website called Cage Match. It's a German site and it basically ranks all wrestlers. So it's got all of their matches. It will tell you everything about their career. You can search for it by year. You can search for it by, I think, place. And one of the things it does is it has user ratings. It is really, really hard to find a really low rating. So Lieutenant James Earl Wright, a guy who did a handful of matches in WCW who we saw first, I think he was something like 4.3. Now, Jack Victory is a 2.71. Okay, now that is surprisingly low, and I could not find anyone lower. So I put people in like little Richard Marley, who was with the Freebirds, and he had nothing, 0.
Right.
So I was like, that doesn't count. So I was like, who's the worst wrestler?
Gobbledygook.
No, Gobbledygook never wrestled. He'd be a 0. Troy Montour, 0.
Right.
I was, because Troy Montour cannot exist. He's not allowed to.
He's not allowed to.
So I was looking through all this, and I didn't find a single person who had a lower cage match rating than Jack Victory. The problem with Jack Victory is he's famous enough for people to have seen him, but he's not good enough for people to go, he's all right.
Yeah.
They've gone, I've seen you, and you're shit.
I've seen you, I've had a reaction, and I want you to go win.
Exactly that. Now, he was going for a decade, pretty much, in NWA, WCW. Someone underneath had written about him. No physique, talent, charisma, or personality. Every cent he ever earned as a wrestler was money stolen, as he never drew as much as a single dime. What a fucking
I bet he was Dave Batista's favourite wrestler.
Yeah. No, I was sort of looking at him. I was going, why do I hate him so much when he turns up? And A, he's bad. Yeah. B, I think he looks stupid. And C, got big arse. Great big arse, chunky fucking bum.
Big old ass.
Big old arse.
It's 12 minutes of just arm bars, this, for me.
It really is.
It's a lot of lockups.
First match where the Southern Boys have been renamed. They're much friendlier Young Pistols name. I believe also there's a slight hint of Young Guns.
Yes.
Young Guns 2, I think, is 1991.
Right.
And so we're very
Dead
much
or
like,
Alive
what could be cooler than two young cowboys in like gold and white coming out?
Another 15 years, there's a very different image for a film.
I did actually think they're chaps as well. They've got their chaps on and they're white. And they've got their little pants on underneath. I was like, if you aren't wearing trousers, don't wear chaps. Because they looked very, you can
see a bit of my inner thigh.
I'm framing the groin.
Where
are you looking? Look over at me. I see where you're looking. Your eyes have been dragged to it.
I'm always surprised, because I don't wear a lot of trunks. I guess there's no place, because I dress either to the left or the right. If there's a decision to be made with boxes,
I go straight up.
I took it under my belt, my Ramstone belt, baby daddy. And you dress left to right. And with trunks, a lot of them just go for forward because they're not aroused or there's no blood in it, so they just go forward. And so there's a triangle there. And it always amuses me because their penises look really small. Yeah. Even guys who have reputably massive penises, they've got tiny penises.
I presume that they're jock-strapped. Because they're athletes. I presume they're wearing jock straps.
What does that do, though? But jock straps are hard. As in like a
No,
box.
that's a cup.
Is that a cup?
Yeah,
right.
So a jock strap is like a sort
like
of...
a willy...
You don't get them really anymore, do you? But
it puts the willy forward.
Yeah, it sort of holds it certainly in place. Again, it's one of those things that everybody has heard the phrase jock strap, and I don't think many people have seen one, or certainly put one on.
No.
But I believe it's like almost sort of like bandaging that you would put on, and it would hold everything sort of in place.
Keep everything up.
Yeah.
Right.
So you could... I suppose you could tuck or you could lift. But either way...
there should be a wrestler that dresses famously to the left or the right. It just pops out the side.
Daniel Bryan did do a match where his testicles came loose.
Nice.
Which is good. I mean, you'd think that would happen far more in wrestling.
Yeah. Why? Because everyone's grabbing all of each other's shorts all the time.
It's live all the time as well. Come on, wrestlers. Get your act together.
Get your balls out.
Come on, we're
pricks.
all big boys now.
Get your willy out. Come on.
I like the way the Young Pistols have gone from like racial segregation and sort of the South will rise again, and now they're coming out like these two disco cowboys. I couldn't be happier to see the transformation.
Oh, someone's been to New York. We're disco now.
I saw a program about New York once, and look at me now.
I won one pride match, and look at me now.
When I fire this gun, you don't know what comes out. You don't want to know what comes out. Ruined that joke. Got too excited about the voice.
Smothers Jam.
And then what could be more wonderful than the power cut? Bang.
Yes, power cut, you're in the middle, the lights go off, they've got to go to the spotlights. They were clearly planning for it because the lights come on very quickly.
I was
very
amazed
well
they had spotlights like in reserve.
Oh,
but then
wonderful.
I was like, I think I prefer this lighting.
It's
I
good.
liked it.
You can't see any in the crowd, it looks spooky.
There are lots and lots of wrestling shows over the years who have used that sort of lighting to hide the fact there's no crowd.
Right.
It's actually one of those strange matches where the Pistols work really hard, the Royal Family do what they do, but at the end of it you just go, I'm so embarrassed by all this. Stupid.
He's making the allegation that his hair was pulled. He's like wrestlers are constantly pulling hair. It's not an allegation.
No, and he's making the allegation. I mean,
you don't know that.
When I hear that and wrestler nowadays, it makes me absolutely terrified.
Oh, dearie me. Yeah, Missy Highlit's looking for a babe. She's annoyed that women don't get a fair shake in a man's world.
Yep.
But she wants to find a babe in one of the dressing rooms.
Yes.
Here.
And what does she find?
She finds Stan Hansen trying to put on a sock.
She does. Stan Hansen, I've noticed this motif through his career, where he's the only wrestler whose sock you see. So when we did like Starrcade 90, his boot comes off and you get to see his sock. Yes. And I was like, that's a really sort of niche thing where I'm beginning to sort of go, I'd like to see that wrestler's sock. But it's just Stan Hansen.
Tony Atlas again.
I think what you get here is you get a slight indication of had Stan Hansen stayed in WCW, Dusty Rhodes wanted to push him more as a comedy character. And what you've got here is Stan Hansen, this legendary arse kicker.
Yeah.
And this one works for him.
Yeah.
That he's just going, get out.
Get the fuck out. And this is a professional place.
Yeah.
And what I like about it is they've not even set dressed it as a dressing room. They're not even pretending that it isn't actually the dressing room that the wrestlers are using.
Yeah.
It's terrible. It looks awful in there.
It really does. And I sort of like that they sort of go, I mean, if you're Vince McMahon, you look at that and you just go, I'd never actually show where they get dressed. I understand it's like that, but Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Great news, everyone. We are at match 6, and it's Terry Taylor with Alexandra York versus Z-Man.
Yes.
She is constantly inputting data.
Always
in that computer.
putting in. They were in earlier on. They were talking about we factored in the heart, and the match will be over this amount and under this amount, and all of this data. Incredible. Like
she has a wide thing here. She goes, it will be under 15 minutes and 38 and you're like, I'm fairly sure at this level in the card it has a maximum runtime of 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So if you're going over that, the computer has got a very basic thing where it's chosen a number that is outside the parameters you've set.
Exactly. But I did so it is 11 minutes.
Tell me about her computer, Pete. This is the best bit.
I spent all morning. Well, I spent an amount of time that if I explained that to a loved one, they would be disappointed in how I spend my time. Trying to find the model of the portable computer Terry Runnels uses to work out the outcome of the matches in WCW.
Yeah.
It is a Tandy TRS-80 Model 100.
And the incredible thing is, I thought that this would be like a computer that had been specially developed solely for this, but it was simply a home computer.
You could get it in a Tandy or a Radio Shack.
Amazing.
If you wanted. It was an integrated, small, one of the first kind of LCD screen, battery-powered computers.
Yeah.
All I'll say is Terry Runnels / Alexandra York, 8K base memory, 8 kilobytes of memory, all that data going into that. I hope you bought an expansion pack.
She is a very staunch businesswoman, is Ms. York.
Staunch.
Staunch.
What is staunch?
Very stern. Very
stern.
Yeah. Very authoritative. Taylor, very authoritative with those right hands.
Well, I mean, look, I'm going to say she has a more serious problem with the computer than the memory. And that is that every time you see it, it's not on.
It's not turned on.
It doesn't have anything on the screen.
There's never anything on the screen. I don't know why they didn't just put some batteries in it.
Yeah.
Just maybe they had bigger troubles of lights going off constantly throughout the show. But look, turn the computer on. And you need extra memory. I mean, you know, it was one of the first portable computers with a modem. It had, you could have expansion packs, sure, but I'm just saying, I typed in the word Terry Taylor, the Z-Man, no disqualification match, WCW WrestleWar 1991, heart, pain, that's 90 bytes gone, right? And if you've only got 8K, you're fucked. Unless you're writing in assembly language and not in the included basics package, it's a stretch, that's all I'm saying. And also, you've got the head of the company, Dusty Rhodes. He, at one point during the commentary, he says, I know there's a lot of data in that computer, I looked at it earlier.
There's Miss York. She's constantly inputting data into her computer, but she doesn't like anybody around while she's doing it, quite obviously.
Well, obviously she don't, but I know that she's got a lot of data in that computer. I looked at it a little bit earlier tonight.
So he's obviously over her shoulder. She's a woman on the edge.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's no wonder she hasn't turned the fucking thing on.
It's funny, isn't it? I mean, Terry Taylor comes back, and this seems like one of the better gimmicks he's had in recent memory. He's come back from WWF, where he's been the Red Rooster. They had him just as Terry Taylor before. And this really suits him. When he's in the suit doing a little interview earlier on, he looks brilliant. He looks really handsome and great. And he looks like that world champion they always thought he was going to be.
He looks like Triple H when he started.
Yeah.
Something.
As soon as this match starts, though, you're just a bit like, oh, this is boring. And Terry Taylor is good and Z-Man is fine. But the match itself, even though people are really into it, I couldn't care less. Yeah. I don't know what it was about it. I wanted more computing.
So I was constantly looking at her, looking at the wrestlers, typing in some more stuff. Yep. At one point, Terry jumps out and asks Alexandra about the data. What's the data saying? What do I have to do? And then jumps back in again.
I like it because she sort of shows him and they keep on saying to the cameras, no, don't look. And I always thought I was about data, but I think, no, it's because you'll see it's off.
Yeah,
there's one bit where she's typing into it and she has that thing as well and I can tell when people don't know how to type. And so it's off and she's just going, no, like her hands going up and down alternately. I was like, that's not typing.
She's not been through a course of Mavis Beacon like we all did in the 90s.